across the Republic. I am Pragya Bakshi Sharma, bringing you the top stories of the day, starting with Kolkata, where junior doctors have resumed their protests against Mamata Banerjee. Another story we are tracking today is the prayer meeting held for Nasrallah in the national capital, a controversial prayer meet at that. The next story that we are covering today is again from New Delhi, where Congress's proxy Sonam Wangchuk was detained by the Delhi police as he tried to protest in the garb of climate change. Another story that we are tracking today is the conclusion of the voting in Jammu and Kashmir. Which government will be elected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370? A big question remains to be seen. More on these stories after the headlines.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Big impact of Republic Kannada expose. Karnataka CM's wife makes a big admission of guilt as she offers to return the high-value plots after FIR against Siddaramaiah in Muda scam. After Siddaramaiah, now Gandhi is in a fix. Will Congress also give up their properties in the National Herald case? As the final phase of elections come to a close in Jammu and Kashmir, 65.48% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m. Bengal junior doctors resume total cease work, demanding safety, security. Protest resume as doctors say their demands haven't been met. Ahead of elections in Haryana, Congress proxy Sonam Wangchuk goes to Singhu border to test water quality in the garb of climate change, detained by the Delhi police. Govinda, after bullet wound due to misfire, sends audio message from hospital, but his statement just does not add up.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
The news tightened around Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah as the state Lokayukta launched a probe against him in the alleged land allotment scam case. The Lokayukta probe followed a day after the Enforcement Directorate booked the Chief Minister in connection with the alleged land allotment scam. Meanwhile, the BJP State Chief B.Y. Vijayendra weighed in on a letter written by Siddaramaiah's wife Parvati announcing the return of all the land that the CM claimed were allotted as compensation for their plots in Mysuru acquired illegally. Here's a report.
In more trouble for under fire Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The state Lokayukta launched a probe against him in connection with the alleged Muda land allotment scam case. The probe follows the registration of an FIR by the Lokayukta in the case pertaining to 3 acres 16 huntas of land owned by the Chief Minister's wife and linked allegedly to the land allotment scam. The launch of the Lokayukta probe came a day after the Enforcement Directorate booked the Chief Minister in the case. Meanwhile, the BJP State Chief B.Y. Vijayendra was dismissive of a letter written by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's wife Parvati announcing the return of all the land that the Chief Minister claimed were given as compensation for his illegally seized plots in Mysuru. Confirming the return of the land in a post on X, the Chief Minister accused the opposition of dragging his family into a false case and fomenting hatred against him. Responding to the post, Vijayendra claimed that the letter was written at the Chief Minister's behest, adding that he has to resign as it was too late for damage control.
देखिए जो भी उस चिट्ठी में लिखा है सिद्धरामैया के वाइफ की तरफ से सिद्धरामैया वाइफ ने लिखा है या नहीं तो सिद्धरामैया खुद लिखाया है वो हमको मालूम नहीं है, लेकिन ये 2 महीने पहले बोलना चाहिए था। जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी सदन में इस मामले में चर्चा करने के लिए कोशिश की तब सिद्धरामैया को फैसला लेना चाहिए था। जो गलती हुआ है उसको मान के, हाँ गलत हुआ है हमारा तरफ से, जो निवेश मिला है हमको हम लोग वापस कर रहे हैं, डिसीजन लिया है। ऐसा डिसीजन तब लेना चाहिए था 2 महीने पहले। नाउ इट्स टू लेट। अभी ये सब चिट्ठी लिखना, इनोसेंस क्लेम करना, ये ठीक भी नहीं रहेगा, जनता भी नहीं मानेंगे इसको।
Former Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad meanwhile claimed that the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and his kin also benefited from alleged illegal land dealings.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की सत्ता में लैंड के प्रति क्यों आकर्षण होता है? कांग्रेस पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष खरगे जी के परिवार का कोई सिद्धार्थ विहार सोसाइटी है, उसकी भी चर्चा सामने आ गई है। क्या मतलब है? क्या हो मुख्यमंत्री, उनका परिवार, क्या हो राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष, उनका परिवार, और पूर्व में तो दामाद बाबू की चर्चा बहुत हो चुकी है।
The chief minister, however, continued to play victim, claiming a political conspiracy to dislodge him from office.
ತೇಜೋವಧೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ರಾಜಕೀಯ ದ್ವೇಷ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಸೇಡನ್ನು ತೀರಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸೈಟ್ಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು.
Meanwhile, Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy also came down heavily on the Chief Minister, as the latter continued to defy calls for him to step down.
The inquiry has started. This is too late to realize that they have done a wrong thing. Doing all wrong thing, now they wanted to give the message to the public that we are surrendering the sites. We have not done anything. Now that will not going to work out.
With the pressure growing on the Chief Minister to give in to the opposition's demands, the big question is, has Siddaramaiah given his guilt away by returning the land?
Polling for the third and final phase in Jammu and Kashmir was underway, with the Union Territory set to seal its fate and chart its course for the future, shattering all previous records and even dwarfing the turnout in the Mumbai South Lok Sabha constituency in the last general elections by a significant margin. The valley recorded a historic turnout of 65.48% till 5 p.m. Here's a report.
Polling for the third and final phase of the historic assembly elections is underway in Jammu and Kashmir. Polling is being held for 40 seats, 24 in Jammu division and 16 in Kashmir, with 415 expectant candidates across parties awaiting their fates. Breaking all previous records, the valley logged a turnout of 56.01% till 3 p.m., even outpacing the overall polling in Mumbai South in the last Lok Sabha elections. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi took to his social media platform X handle, urging the people, especially women and first-time voters, to immerse themselves in the festival of democracy.
जिस प्रकार जम्मू कश्मीर में तीनों चरणों में जबरदस्त मतदान हुआ है, जम्मू कश्मीर के कोने कोने में पहाड़ी क्षेत्र हो, बॉर्डर का एरिया हो, मैदान का एरिया हो, हर जगह जबरदस्त मतदान हुआ है। मुझे विश्वास है ये प्रचंड मतदान जो है ये जम्मू कश्मीर में स्थायी सरकार बनाने में मददगार होगा।
Also taking to his social media handle, Union Home Minister Amit Shah called on the people to exercise their voting right to elect a government which rids the valley of terror, separatism, nepotism and corruption.
भाजपा सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी बन के आएगी, भाजपा अपने बलबूते पे सरकार बनाएगी। कश्मीर सेंट्रिक पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने फिर से जम्मू कश्मीर को आग के हवाले करने के लिए एक मन बनाया हुआ है। फारूक अब्दुल्ला, उमर अब्दुल्ला, महबूबा मुफ्ती, वो आज भी चाहते हैं कि वहाँ पत्थरबाज बाहर निकले, वो आज भी चाहते हैं कि कश्मीर आगजनी के हवाले किया जाए ताकि कश्मीर के हालात बिगड़ रहे हैं, वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी कभी होने नहीं देंगे।
Long queues were seen at nearly all the polling booths, demonstrating the willingness of the people to break free from the shackles of terror and make their voices heard in the polls.
I am so glad that मुझे यंगस्टर्स का काफ़ी सपोर्ट मिला. हमारे जो पोलिंग एजेंट्स हैं वो भी काफ़ी यंग हैं. सो नॉर्मली यंग जो चाहते हैं वो बदलाव चाहते हैं, वो डेवलपमेंट चाहते हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि उनकी भी कहीं सुनवाई हो. इस वक्त जो यूथ है वो आप देख रहे हैं कि सपोर्टर है, वोटर है, मेजॉरिटी यूथ ही है. तो आई होप दैट जो नौजवान है वो इस बारी सोच समझ के वोट डालेंगे, क्योंकि बदलाव तो होना चाहिए. चेंज इज़ द कॉन्स्टेंट थिंग इन यूनिवर्स, जैसे हम कहते हैं.
With the historic polls in the valley set to close, the big question is, will it throw up a mandate for change?
Actor and Shiv Sena leader Govinda was injured in an accidental shooting while preparing to leave for Kolkata. According to his manager Shashi Sinha, Govinda was handling his licensed revolver when it slipped from his hand, discharging a bullet that struck his leg. The bullet has been removed and his condition is stable as he continues to recover in the hospital. He has also released an audio, but his statements do not add up. Watch this report for more.
Actor and Shiv Sena leader Govinda hurt himself in a case of what he said was accidental firing. The leader was leaving for the airport to go to Kolkata when his loaded revolver misfired. Govinda hurt himself in the leg in the incident. He was admitted to the hospital where he is said to be in stable condition.
बुलेट वुंड था पाँव में, फिर हम उनको यहाँ लाए. सुबह उनका एक्सरे हुआ, उनको ऑपरेशन हो गया, बुलेट निकल गई है, उनको अभी वुंड सील हो गया है. एंड ही इज़ कंफर्टेबल, ही इज़ अदरवाइज ओके, एंड ही हैज़ बीन एडमिटेड हियर and he will be in the hospital for 1 or 2 days, and otherwise everything is okay.
The actor also issued a statement. Listen in.
नमस्कार, प्रणाम. मैं हूँ गोविंदा. आप सब लोगों के आशीर्वाद और माँ बाप का आशीर्वाद और गुरु की कृपा की वजह से वो गोली लगी थी, पर वो निकाल दी गई है. मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ यहाँ के डॉक्टर का, आदरणीय डॉक्टर अग्रवाल जी का, और आप सब लोगों की प्रार्थनाएं जो है, आप लोग का धन्यवाद.
However, Govinda's statement doesn't really add up. Several big questions are being raised. Why was the revolver loaded in wee hours? Did the actor not check the revolver lock? Why was the revolver cleaned and loaded at 4:45 a.m.? And why did Govinda release an audio update? Also pertinent here is, why did none of his family members wake up to the sound of the bullet firing? The actor-politician's wife, who was in Kolkata, returned to Mumbai after the incident. None of his family members have yet answered media queries. While the leader is likely to stay in hospital for a few more days, he will soon have to justify his statements.
Renowned actor Govinda suffered bullet injury in his leg, in his left leg in this morning, and he admitted in this hospital, Kiriti Care Asia Hospital. The 60-year-old actor was rushed to this hospital, which is Juhu, near his home, and the bullet was extracted after an hour-long surgery, but Govinda may remain in hospital for a few days.
Now, in a big setback for Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who had hoped for the Arjikar storm to blow over close to the Durga Puja festivities, the protesting junior doctors refused to buy into her tall claims and returned to the protests. Still, all their demands are absolutely met. Now, addressing a press briefing in the city on Tuesday, the junior doctors claimed no progress on the fulfillment of the promises that the CM had made to them during the meeting. They also announced a fresh wave of mega protests to press for justice in the Abhaya rape and murder case. Here's a report.
Dealing a blow to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, the protesting junior doctors returned to cease work, accusing her of failing to fulfill her promises to ensure watertight security at all medical establishments. At a press briefing in the city on Tuesday, the junior doctors said they would observe total cease of work till all the promises of the Chief Minister made to them translate to action on the ground. The doctors earlier called off their sit-in outside the state healthcare headquarters at Swasthya Bhavan after the Chief Minister promised urgent measures to boost security at all medical campuses in the state. Addressing media persons, the Chief Minister vowed funds for the installation of CCTVs while also boosting security deployment at hospital campuses. The protesting junior doctors meanwhile also announced a fresh wave of protests and marches to press for justice in the RG car rape and murder case. Sending out a clear message to the Mamata government, they said they wouldn't consider returning to work till there's progress on all their demands.
We see virtually no progress. We want to remind the government that we are not protesting merely for paper promises. We are protesting for a genuine, pure play-oriented change in the state's healthcare system so that patients receive proper services and doctors and healthcare workers are ensured a safe, fear-free workplace.
During its hearing in the RG Kar case on Monday, the Supreme Court came down heavily on the Bengal government over its tardy approach to installing security cameras at the hospitals. With the junior doctors returning to protest and seize work, the big question is, will Mamata act now? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
After pro-Hezbollah protests in Jammu and Kashmir and Uttar Pradesh, a prayer meeting for the slain chief of the terrorist outfit was organized in the national capital. According to sources, the meeting held at Delhi's India Islamic Cultural Center saw some members in the audience chant "Down with America" while also raising slogans against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Iranian and Palestinian envoys to India were among the attendees at the prayer meeting on Monday late evening. A separate commemoration event for Nasrallah, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike on the Hezbollah's command center in a southern Beirut suburb, was organized at Delhi's Kashmiri Gate. Here's a report.
After marches and street protests against the killing of Hassan Nasrallah, a prayer meeting for the slain Hezbollah chief was organized in the national capital. The event, organized at the India Islamic Cultural Center in the national capital, featured the Iranian and Palestinian ambassadors to India amongst the attendees. According to sources, some members in the audience raised chants against US and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. While Netanyahu is facing fury from a section of the Muslim world for the continuing air raids in Hezbollah territory, followed by the launch of a limited ground operation in Lebanon, the US has come out in Israel's support, asserting its right to defend itself. Some members in the audience were also heard chanting support to Hezbollah, saying that the Lebanese militant outfit will rise again under a new leader. Meanwhile, a separate commemoration event was organized in the walled city area of Kashmiri Gate, followed by a candlelight march. Protesters had earlier poured out on the streets of Srinagar and Budgam in Jammu and Kashmir against the killing of Nasrallah. Similar street hurdles were also seen in Lucknow, with protesters flashing mobile torches and setting fire to posters of Israeli Prime Minister.
After Jammu and Kashmir and Uttar Pradesh, now the condolence meet for Hassan Nasrallah, the chief of Hezbollah who was killed in Israel airstrike, was hosted by India Islamic Cultural Center. The dignitaries and the noble figures who attended the condolence meet was Iranian ambassador and Palestinian ambassador. The entire condolence meet was organized by Anjuman-e-Haidari, and also speeches were made by Iranian ambassador where they stated that it was not only the mourning, and also Irajalahi, the Iranian ambassador, broadcaster stated that Hezbollah is not a terrorist organization but is a political party.
Amid a wave of protests in support of a designated global terrorist, it now remains to be seen when the authorities draw the line.
Congress proxy Sonam Wangchuk was detained by Delhi police along with his followers from the Singhu border, triggering protests in his native Ladakh. Here's a report.
Climate activist and innovator Sonam Wangchuk was detained by Delhi police along with 80 followers, setting off protests in Ladakh. The activist and his followers embarked on the Delhi Chalo march from Leh, but was detained as they crossed Haryana and approached the Singhu border. The activist is seeking the inclusion of Ladakh in the 6th schedule of the constitution, which will guarantee more autonomy to the region. The protest, according to a report, is also aimed at taking his climate concerns to Delhi. His followers said that all 80 protesters, including Wangchuk, were marching silently when they were detained unlawfully. His presence at the Singhu border has raised eyebrows as prohibitory orders under Section 163 of the BNS is already in force in the area in view of the upcoming Haryana Assembly elections. Sources in Delhi police claimed that the activist was informed of the law and order situation and the prohibitory orders on the Haryana border. The Congress, meanwhile, came out in his support, saying that everyone has a right to protest in a democracy.
This government is, through high-handedness, detained him and so many leaders of Congress party also in the police station now. Honorable Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi spoke to Commissioner of Police in Delhi and asked why you are detaining. Would you ask the Commissioner?
Delhi Chief Minister Atishi also spoke up in Wangchuk's defense, calling for an end to the LG Raj in Ladakh.
शांतिपूर्ण प्रदर्शन कर रहे सोनम वांगचुक जी और लद्दाख के लोग जो कल 2 अक्टूबर को बापू की समाधि पे दर्शन करने जा रहे थे, उनको भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र सरकार ने गिरफ्तार कर लिया। ना सिर्फ इतना, हालांकि पुलिस ने पुलिस स्टेशन में मेरी एंट्री करवाई, उन्होंने मुझे सोनम वांगचुक जी से मिलने नहीं दिया। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तानाशाही है। हम सोनम वांगचुक जी का पूरा समर्थन करते हैं। लद्दाख में एलजी राज खत्म होना चाहिए।
This is all we have for you in this bulletin. Stay tuned for more stories after a short break.
The first edition of Republic Digital Roundtable was a resounding success.
We can be the first in the world probably to get this in the common platform.
Super excited to see FAME 3 and very positive on that note. Yeah.
R&D needs to be incentivized in India. The government is generally supporting on the ground for companies that are doing this. I think that will be huge.
Tech exists. How do you enforce who puts in that piece of technology? Those are the questions that we really need to answer.
We've got everything it takes. The more people that take it responsibly, stronger the industry is.